I do believe in the sanctity of life. And I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it
Joy?
feels like,
Serious?
I mean,
Joy at
I
a
guess I would
man's
say
execution?
maybe not joy, but certainly not, no, certainly not empathy. Because again,
We're
this is a
watching
man
the
responsible
footage.
for
How can
deaths.
this make you joyful? This guy's a
So here's,
husband, he's a
like
father,
billions,
and he's being
and
gunned down in the middle of Manhattan.
so are
Why
the
does that
tens of
make you
thousands of
joyful?
Americans that he murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health
So
care.
should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
Well, why not?
And
why are you laughing?
I think because it wouldn't fix the
You seem to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question funny.
A bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO. Now, I want to fix the system. You're right. We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice. No. I think that it is a good thing that.
Well, then why are you justifying it? If you really believe that, why are you justifying it? You can't have it both ways.
This murder has led to America, or really the media elites and politicians in this country paying attention to this issue for the first time. You mentioned you couldn't understand why somebody would feel this reaction when they watched a CEO die. It's because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans have.
I've dealt with the healthcare system in various ways in America. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but the idea that I would view it as something.
Have you been denied life saving?
Hang on. The idea that I would view it as something joyful that a man has been, who's just a healthcare executive, has been executed in the street, I find completely bizarre.
Because it's bizarre. She's saying, well, but have you been denied? It's like, so that would justify it? The left is a cult, a death cult, and she should be behind bars. And here's why. Look at this. Former Washington Post reporter says, we want these executives dead after murder of healthcare insurance CEO. Here's the thing. Fox is being just a little disingenuous because they only took half of the quote. So let me give you the context of that quote, because, people like Taylor Lorenz needs to be amplified. Her voice needs to be amplified because the average American, they don't believe people like this exist. They think this is like comic book villains. And they have to know now. No, people like this do exist, and they will show not even an ounce of empathy for the children that are now without a father. Sheesh. From TMZ, journalist posts Blue Cross exec pic advocating for peaceful letter writing campaigns, close quote. Now, if you're really advocating for peaceful letter writing campaigns, why did you post her picture on your website, on your X account and Blue Sky account? Why exactly did you do that? I mean, if you really, really believed in a peaceful letter writing campaign, it's like, well, hold on a minute. You just put her on blast. You got to know that Taylor Lorenz has got a ton of unhinged purple-haired people following her. Imagine, you got to look at this through the lens of January 6th, where people were put in jail and they didn't even go into the Capitol. If she is not investigated, if she doesn't, this is unbelievable to me. And by the way, you can say what you say about this whole thing. Look at it. Taylor Lorenz, a controversial journalist formerly of the Washington Post, shared a photo of the Blue Cross Blue Shield CEO on the same day United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was murdered. Here's the deal. Lorenz has posted multiple times to Blue Sky and X in the aftermath of the gunman shooting and killing Thompson on New York City street earlier Wednesday morning, starting, get this, when Blue Cross Blue Shield announced it wouldn't cover anesthesia for the entirety of some surgeries. Now that's ghoulish. You're not going to cover anesthesia for the entirety of some surgeries. And then she posted, and people ask why we want these executives dead. In my mind, that's still domestic terrorist. That's still domestic terrorism. You're trying to get a policy changed by making threats. Again, don't tell me you want a peaceful letter writing campaign when you posted her picture. And by the way, look, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield makes major U-turn following the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. It's probably more likely that it was made because Taylor Lorenz put the CEO on blast. Look, Taylor Lorenz should be behind bars. She is a menace. All right, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.